We still the fire. We no go tire. We still the fire. We no go tire.
But before we go straight into that, I'd like to call COO of the Nigeria Travel Week, Mr. Toby Okachuku, to come and declare this event open. Please, let's put our hands together for him.
It is my singular honor to welcome you all to this meeting as part of the Nigeria Travel Week event that's built up for the week. It might interest you that we're trying to change the narrative with the whole Nigerian Travel Week event, which started yesterday, on Monday, with the arrival of the hosted delegates from different countries and did some familiarization tours. Today, we're looking at discussing issues that are vital or that are important to us in the travel and tourism space, especially in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And today, we will be starting with the first session, of course, will be leveraging tourism for a vibrant and sustainable economy. And the second session will be national career and tourism development cost versus benefit. I trust it to be a robust discourse with the panelists that have come from far and wide and their stakeholders in the sector. I'm hoping that it will be an enjoyable conference, and at the end of the day, we hope to improve the travel and tourism sector in Nigeria. Thank you very much. I welcome you once again.
It's my honor and pleasure to start to invite to this properly organized set CEO of the Nigerian Travel Week, Mr. Ifetomo, to say to everyone that yes, Mr. Awana is quite young, but he's so driven and I'm motivated, and is already mentoring me.
To date, tourism contributes up to 9.8% to the GDP. Is employing roughly 1.1 million people. Every time we have a bad year, like we've had, you know, in our country, our elections can take place for 6 months. And that takes a big hit on the tourism industry. And that affects many other cross-cutting industries. So as a result, I think our government from the very beginning has appreciated the value that tourism brings to the country in terms of forex, in terms of creation of jobs, that there's always been a Ministry of Tourism. We sometimes move its Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, sometimes it's a standalone, sometimes it is Tourism and East African Affairs, but there's always a Ministry of Tourism. There's an office. It is properly resourced. It is budgeted for. Under the Ministry of Tourism, we have, say, an estimate 6 or 7 tourism parastatals, whose main responsibility is to look at various things in the tourism industry. We have one whose sole responsibility is to promote Kenya as a tourist destination. We have one whose main responsibility is to build the skill set. This is the Kenya Hotelier College, is to build the skill set for the tourism industry. And it does that on a continuous basis, offering from certificate to degree. We have another organization that's called the Tourism Fund, whose sole responsibility is to collect what we call the tourism levy, that is reinvested back in the tourism industry.
Of course, hotel is one of the most important factor in tourism or travel industry. But before touching the hotel specifically, I'd like to touch on a few aspects just to make us realize that when we talk of tourism, sometimes it's not always what we think of somebody traveling, booking a tour and visiting places, attraction, then back. That is tourism. Tourism has different facets.
I want you to come from that angle. Yes, you're a tour operator, but you're a lawyer as well. Now, what are those things in your view that over the years that needs to be put in place.
I thought I had gotten rid of law. I noticed that I shook hands with everyone so that I could show that I was nice and friendly and not sharp. And here I'm landed again with this legal bit of it. Oh, sugar, when all I want to be is a tour operator. So, what do we say about the laws?
Talk about the money.
Frankly, I mean, and for somebody, and trust me, I graduated very early. I think I was about 7 or 6 years old when I graduated. For a lawyer who graduated in 1984, to be doing what I'm doing right now, obviously you must be thinking, is she okay? Or there must be something there. I'd like to encourage you that there is definitely, I mean, I'm sure most of us here are practitioners, so we know that there is something there. On the laws of the nation, yes, do you know we're over legislated? There's so much statutes, legislation, it's not so much the laws anymore. From law, full-time law, you know, running, in fact, I was able to sustain this habit because I had a law practice. It's in the last 1 year that I've actually looked at it properly and decided, you know, I'm going to give law a bit of a birth right now and focus strictly on tourism. So government, legislation, maybe encouragement, put your money where your mouth is and encourage people and develop tour operators. It's not, I said it that, I mean, I'm sustaining my company because I'm a lawyer. So you need to go at those businesses and obviously give some kind of subsidy, not necessarily to the companies, but maybe to those that would patronize them, the Nigerians that would be willing to take on this travel with them. And of course, inbound as well. Thank you.
Free income meaning you've made your house suitable for me to visit. I will come, I will eat, I will spend. You didn't force me. All you did is you put a platter in front of me. And I love the platter, and I bought it. But do you know what we do the most? We have a bandwagon problem in Nigeria. Behold, if any country advertises anything on CNN, you want to be the first to be there. Do you remember watching the film Bora Bora? That has a Bora Bora Island. Yeah. Everybody wants to go there. Yes. Do you know that if I show you a picture of my back garden that has animal, you won't come? Or you want to promote tourism. Now, working for an airline, I then had the concept of the British man. They work from inside out, which is what we should do. We point our fingers to our government. Our government is the people. If tourism starts today, are you going to compensate that community where you have that package of tourism more than a community that is not contributing to tourism? Which brings equity and fairness into remuneration from tourism. And that becomes a competing factor where every community wants to do better than the other. And because they want to do better than the other, they build their own community. They make their community more welcoming. There was a time on the website where they say, the friendliest country in Africa. Does anybody know? Nigeria. Please. The United Nations put it there as Ghana. They say, I don't know what they saw in Ghana, but they say, as you come out of the airport, everybody is smiling. Maybe that's their facial look.
You know, my late father, I will answer your question. My late father said to me while I was growing up that there are two ways you're going to impact your life. And so pay attention. One, the people that you meet. Okay? So pay attention to your interactions. So that's where learning comes. The second thing he said was the books that you read. Again, it opens up your mind and how you're going to live your life. But as I grew up and as I began to move around and travel, I added the third one. I said the third way you impact your life are the places you visit as a traveler. Because go back and look at it, most of us, no matter how far back, no matter how young we were, places we went to, without smartphone, without any of those things, it's ingrained in our memory. Some of the best experiences you've had are the places you visit. So that's the context for why I have passion.
But then the major underlying reason has been my passion for domestic tourism from the start. Now when I started out, about 14 years ago, I worked with a travel agency called The World's Travels. And my boss, who is very interestingly one of the partners on this project at this point, wanted us to sell only outbound. And I resigned twice because I was only passionate about Nigeria. So yes, all of the glitz about London and France, and it never was anything that moved me. I was concerned about selling Nigeria. Immediately I graduated from the university, I had the opportunity to travel around Nigeria. I started out working on a tourism magazine called Crest. And so I saw the beauty that we had, or that we have in our country. I also noticed that people actually appreciate these things that are so trivial and mundane. I remember my the first major experience that made me go into tourism was just taking a photograph of birds, flying, and then the sunset. So it was just the silhouettes and then the sunset, and I took it to school the next week. And I was surprised that my colleagues liked it, and they were asking me to print that picture for them, and I was like, really? So people actually appreciate these simple tribal things. So it was that passion for Nigerian travel. The truth is, I've been to over 15 countries in Africa, and I see that we must start telling our own story. Every country has its problems, but what happens with tourism is you let the better side of you make the most noise. So yes, we have our problems. We have bad roads. So what? We have security challenges. Chicago is worse than Nigeria. So we have worse countries. We have worse examples. We must learn to start to tell to let people see us for who we are. The last time I was in South Africa, in Cape Town, I had images of waterfall, Bokum waterfalls, and I saw how they were surprised around me. Is this Nigeria? And I'm like, yes, this is Nigeria. And I started scrolling all the pictures. So people don't know these things. So we must start to let them know. And that's why we said one of the things we will do is to get hosted delegates, is to get travel agents, tour operators, and the media to come to Nigeria and experience Nigeria. And I would like, if possible, that they share some of the experiences they've had, vis-a-vis what they felt and the perception that they had about Nigeria coming. Now the other reason was, early this year we started a website called nigeriaholidays.com, which is a platform where you can go online and buy tour packages around Nigeria. Hitherto, we don't have products as a people, and so it's difficult for us to sell tourism if we don't have products. When you think of Dubai, when you visit Dubai, when you stay in a hotel, it's very easy for you to understand what a Dubai city tour is. You know what to expect. You know what a Dow cruise is. Anyone who has not been to Dubai most likely knows what a desert safari is. In Nigeria, what products do we have? So unless we have those products that we can sell, what we have been doing in the past is we go to all the markets and we show pictures of our waterfalls and this, but then we do not connect the dots. And how do you connect the dots? So you need the tour operators to put together products, and I'm really so excited to be on this panel with someone like Mrs. Ogunbi, who has about 17 tours in Lagos. You think that there's nothing to do in Lagos, but there are people who are actually doing this work, who are putting experiences together. Tourism is not about Disney. Yes, Disney is wonderful, but sometimes it could be about Akara. Some months ago we had a group from NLNG for a team building to the southwest, and I remember that when we were passing the town called Ikoyi, we stopped to buy Dodo Ikire, and that photograph was one of the best photographs we took on that trip, because you could see the smile, the smiles and the appreciation. For them it was fun, so it was just Dodo Ikire, which is like 100 naira. And these are people who have the money to travel anywhere in the world. I'm sure everybody knows NLNG. So what we're saying is the experiences you create is what people want to enjoy. So as a people, we need to start to tell these narratives. We need to start to put products together. The industry needs to come together. So far, it's been everybody working isolated on their own. We need to start to synergize. Unless we do what Nollywood was able to do, which is make enough noise as a people, and then government will start to look at us and say, okay, who are these noisemakers? Okay, so what are you doing? Oh, really? They've been able to generate 500 million in the past, so perhaps if we invest in this, then we could grow bigger. We need to start to put these things in place, and then we'll attract. So yes, normally government should start, but we're looking at a situation where we can start the engine and then let them see that we're about to drive off and trust our governments. They will hop into that bus. That's what we're doing.
We remove the excesses. We remove scenarios of passengers waiting at the airport. Passengers waiting at the airport for a scheduled flight, and an aircraft has been taken to Kano to fly somebody and his family. Who remembers that? If we do get that, we do get all those things done.
The reason why airlines fail in Nigeria is discipline. Simple. Now, if we embrace technology as it is today and what's happening around the world, we can reduce our costs quite dramatically. If we learn to be a lot more efficient with our resources, we can manage our businesses a lot more efficiently.
Let me start with shift in mindset. I think every time we talk about a national carrier, we talk about outbound. What about inbound? Like completely shifts your mindset. Forget about traveling to London, Dubai, we know we're going there. But what about traveling to Sokoto or Kaduna, right? We talk about made in Nigeria products. Made in Nigeria products are having a boom right now. You need resources in country. What if you had a national carrier that was literally just focused on taking people from Lagos to Kaduna?
The right thing to do is to work with them, partner with them, and then make sure that these international airlines work hand in hand with local airlines, like yours, to take traffic from Lagos to Kaduna to Kano to Abuja to Port Harcourt and all the other places. That, I think, is the right way forward. It makes commercial sense.
I once went to Calabar for a funeral, and while I was in Calabar, I said, oh, I want to visit Tinapa. They laughed at me because of the distance. I'm in Calabar trying to get to Tinapa. How about the individual in Sokoto trying to get to Tinapa? How about the person in Enugu trying to get to the falls? Aviation is such an essential commodity. Such an essential commodity because the whole idea of having a vacation is not to be stressed. You don't want to drive 10 hours to a destination to spend 1 hour looking at it. You want to take 1 or 2 hours to get there and 10 or 15 hours on the ground. That's the key to the component that they
View Nigeria with all your mind and all your senses. Focus on its rich heritage and blessings. Resources that abound. Let's spread the